Good morning guys, Diana here from Garden Love. So today everybody's asleep. I've been awake for the last few hours, so I decided to come out here and just check out my garden, see what's going on, and just have a peaceful morning here in my courtyard. But there is two things I've been thinking about for the past 2 weeks, and Charles from Ivy Organic has actually taught me both of these things, and I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys don't follow Charles from Ivy Organic already, go ahead and check him out. I'll try to post his link right above or in the description, so check that out. But so we just had Halloween a couple months ago, and we had Christmas and Thanksgiving, and I still have a pumpkin from Halloween. One of the pumpkins that I had inside the house started going bad, so I decided to put it out in the garden because Charles from Ivy Organic explains that this has a lot of nutrients that can feed your garden. So it will help feed the worms, and the worms will feed your garden. So what I did, since it was going bad, I just let it sit and let it rot out in a section of my garden that no one will ever see, and I'll show you guys where that's at. This pumpkin was twice the size of the pumpkin I showed you, and as you can see, it's all broken down. One day I came here and kicked it, and a whole bunch of worms were sitting right under it, feasting on this thing. So I know that this whole section is going to be feeding, the worms are going to be feeding my Eureka lemon that I have here next to me. As you guys know, it's not producing nearly as much as the one I have in my container, and I want to say that that's part of the reason is because of the condition, the soil condition. If this tree would be getting much more nutrients than my the one in my container, I'm sure that this tree would be producing tons and tons of lemons. So I'm working on that. That's the reason why I decided to put the pumpkin here, so the worms can be attracted to it. It can feed off of it, and the worms in exchange can feed this whole soil and work it and feed this Eureka lemon that I have growing here, and also my passion fruit. I mean, I have tons of things growing here, so my whole garden's gonna benefit from this pumpkin that I let it rot out here, and it was feeding all the worms. So that's that. I have another pumpkin that's going to be going bad pretty soon, so I'm going to have to decide where I want to put this. That way it can work the soil that my plants are growing in. As you guys know, I don't have that many trees in the ground, but I am going to be planting my Rio Red in the backyard, and that might be where I want this to decompose, so that way the soil can be ready in spring when I'm going to plant my Rio Red. So that's one of the lessons that I wanted to talk to you guys about that I learned from Charles from Ivy Organic. Another thing that I've been thinking about, we are in the middle of January, more like towards the end, and I'm noticing that my apple trees are supposed to go dormant, and they're not really dormant. As you can see, this tree right here, it still has leaves, and it had just about that many leaves this whole time last year during the spring. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to force dormancy, because spring's right around the corner, and we really need to remove these leaves, so that way the bud right here can start growing to produce a new flowering bud, and it can give me some more fruit. So I'm really gonna have to work this tree and try to force dormancy, because I want it to produce fruit next year as well. And hopefully next year the fruit would be much bigger than the fruit I got this year. As you guys know, if you guys saw my previous video, you guys know that I discovered this was the red apple tree, because I have 2 trees that I transplanted from someone's house, and one, I was told one was a red and one was a green. And through the summer I couldn't tell because both the apples were growing green, but closer down to the fall and winter, some apples turned red on this tree. So now I know this is the tree that has the red apples growing on them. And let me see if there's even some up there, because there were some that I couldn't reach, but the birds might have gotten to them, or they might have fallen off due to the 1 week continuous rain that we got. So I might have to get a ladder and just really work my way as far as creating dormancy for this tree. So that's one. Here's another one that the leaves don't seem to want to fall off. This tree doesn't look all that well. I'm afraid this trunk's turning brown. I don't know if it's getting a disease. I think it might. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on this to see what it looks like. But I am just going to take the leaves off. I should have probably done this on Thursday because that's when our gardener comes and helps me maintain my garden as far as the leaves and the trash and the grass. But that's what I'm doing right now. It's gonna create a mess, but I might just get a blower and come and clean it up. That's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna take all the leaves off so it can focus on doing what it's gonna do to prepare for the next season coming up, as you can see. Anyways, guys, that's what I'm gonna focus on doing today to prep these trees for spring. And if you guys don't already follow Charles from IB Organic, go ahead and check him out. He has a lot of information and lessons to teach, and he touches on a lot of important topics, such as this one, which was perfect. I had already been thinking about why aren't my leaves falling off, and I did hear somewhere in the past that you can force dormancy on trees by removing leaves. And of course, like a few days later, Charles makes a video on the very topic that I had already been thinking about. So he's always on point when it comes to the garden. So that's what I'm doing now. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Enjoy your day at home. Today's Sunday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. As you can see,